Hello everyone, I hope you've been doing well. I apologize for the short little break as I was finishing out my spring semester. I'm officially done with school, which is kind of insane. I graduate on Saturday. Today is Thursday as I'm filming this. That's not very important, but I just wanted to let you know that I am done. So thank you for being patient with me as I get my life sorted out. And I'm finally back with my May TBR. I wasn't really planning on filming a TBR video or like setting a specific TBR for May, just because now that I'm done with college, I kind of just wanted to mood read, let myself read whatever I felt like and not really like put myself in too many boxes. And I did end up failing the magical readathon. We won't talk about that. It just ended up being such a chaotic month in April for me that I just did not have time to like actually participate. I did like start reading some of the books that I had put on my magical readathon TBR. I just didn't finish them in that month, so technically I did fail, but it's alright. It is what it is. My first three books, I don't know if you could consider them part of my TBR, but they're ones that I want to finish in the month of May. I'm in the middle of 3 books right now. The first one being The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This was one of the ones on my April TBR, and I am, let's see, about 150 pages through. So I'm about halfway through. I think I can finish this month for sure. I'm really invested in it right now, and this was, for the prompt, it was one of the 5-star reads of my close friend Haley. So I'm hoping I can give it 5 stars. We'll have to see, but I am really liking it so far. It's definitely giving me like the summer vibes, like entering summertime. And then I don't know if this vlog will be up by the time you see this, but I'm still reading my March book club pick, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I've been reading this for so long. I'm ready to be done. I'm on page 270, so I literally have just this little bit left, but it just got so chaotic at the end of April, and I was like on a pretty good roll with this. I just put it down and haven't gotten back to it since, so I really would like to finish this in the next week or so, get it done in May, and finally start the summer off with a clean slate. And then the third book I'm in the middle of is Moonwalk by Michael Jackson. This is his autobiography. I started this after watching the Michael movie that came out recently. I really liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it. At first I definitely loved it, but after I like sat with it a bit more, I changed my thoughts about it. It was really good. If you love his music, I think you will love it. I just wish it went more in depth about him like as a person. But anyways, this is not a movie review, but I just really wanted to know more about his life after watching that, so that my library had a copy of his autobiography, and I'm on page 89. So this is kind of just one I'm just reading when I can, but it is really interesting, and I just love him. He's just so interesting to me, and I just think he's so cool. So that is 3 books that I'm in the middle of. I think for this TBR I'd like to choose maybe like 4 more. I don't know if that's too ambitious, but I don't have anything to do anymore. I just have my job. I work part-time, and then I'm going to start writing again and treat that as like a full-time thing and write every day. But I don't know what that routine looks like yet. I kind of have to sort that out this month. That's another thing on my to-do list, I guess, for May. But I already know 1 book out of the 4 that I will be reading this month, which is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is my book club's pick for May, which you should go join. It's so much fun. We vote on which book we want to read every month. We do a poll and we can share our thoughts. It's on the Fable app, which I'll have a link down below that you can join if you would like to. We just have our little community there, and I would love to see it grow, and I would love to make like specific reading vlogs for the books we read and post them here for you on YouTube. I think that'd be so cool, so let me know what you think if you would like those. I've been wanting to read this for so long, and the sequel is coming out I think later this month, so potentially if I finish it I'll jump right into the sequel. I think that would be so much fun. But this just sounds so freaking cool to me. I've always loved the concept of dragons being like moons and like hatching like as moon. It's just so cool. I don't actually know the plot of this. I know we have 2 different characters, a lot of dragons, and like these gods, creators that have fallen. So I'm so curious about this fantasy world. I know a lot of people like this book, but I also feel like it has mixed reviews, so I am gonna lower my expectations just a little bit. This is also like the self-published copy. This is like before it was picked up by traditional publishing, which I think is awesome. Like it even has the map right here, and I just love the little illustrations on top of each chapter. I think that is so beautiful. I want my book to have that one day. So yeah, I really hope I love this book. I'm so excited to start it. After I finish one of my current reads, I'm planning to jump straight into this. And definitely go join my book club on Fable. It's called Frolicking Through Fantasy. Every month we read a new fantasy book, so I would love to see you there. So I think for the 3 books that we have left to choose for this TBR, I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, but I think it would be fun to choose these books in 3 different ways. So the first way will be my TBR jar, which has different prompts on it, and then I will choose a book based on the prompt. And the second option is going to be my reader roulette cards. This is kind of like a TBR jar, but it's in card form, and it has a lot more like variety than like my TBR prompt jar. I can't really fit too much in there. And then I think my last option is going to be a spinner wheel. I made this with all the books on my physical TBR in there, so I can just spin it and get a pick. I'm kind of nervous, so I don't know where we should start. Maybe we should start with the spinner wheel because it has like the titles of the books, because that way it like gives me a specific title from the get-go. Although I think I need to edit this real quick because I think there's some books on here that I've already read and I just need to change it around. I also need to add some books to my TBR. Alright, so now is the moment of truth. Let's spin this wheel. Hopefully it gives us something good. I'm not going to look. You get the first view. No! I broke a nail trying to get this massive book out. Why? Why did the wheel choose that? It's not that I'm not interested in this. I actually think I'm gonna love this book. But I don't think I can read one massive dragon book on top of reading another massive dragon book. I just don't think I can. Don't get me wrong, I really want to read this book. But like, this is not a good time. This is not. I'm trying to have a variety in my May TBR, but like, this is what the wheel picked. Do I go with it? You might hate me, but I have control here. And since this thing broke my nail off, I'm not reading it. I'm having a grudge against this book right now. I will read it. I really, actually really want to. I wanted to for a long time, but like not while also reading another massive dragon book. No, I can't do that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You broke my nail off. What the heck? Okay, we're gonna spin again. I'm sorry if that annoys you. I'm sorry if you think I should read this. I just can't do it. Please understand. Alright, let's reset. Hopefully we get something less intimidating, less likely to ruin my life for the month of May. So let's choose again. Let's cross our fingers, everyone. Ooh, okay. Alright, so the wheel drew The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I've had this on my shelf for a very long time and I've always wanted to read it. It's always really interested me, but I just have never gotten to it, and I feel like it's a classic. Everyone knows this story, at least briefly, at least like a little bit about it. I don't really like this movie or like show tie-in cover. I typically don't like movie show tie-in covers. This sounds really cool. I've always wanted to read this book. Okay, thank you, spinner wheel. We have a good second pick. That didn't break my nail. Alright, for our next TBR pick, we are going to use my reader roulette cards to see which one I get. These do not shuffle very well, so I think I'm just going to like zhuzh them around and we'll see which one I get, or which one falls out, or which one I pick. Oh, let's look at that. One already fell out. Let's see what it says. Okay, read a book based in a foreign country. Interesting. So this implies that it is not a fantasy book. This implies that it is a romance or like historical fiction. So yeah, let me take a look at my shelf and see what I can find. Okay, after looking, I do have like multiple options. Like I have a romance or two, I have one historical fiction or so, but the one that actually really jumped out at me that I've wanted to read for a while and have been meaning to, but that also just really suits this book, is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I got this book like almost a year ago when I was in Germany. We were at this little bookstore and it was so beautiful. I wish I could go back there, but I feel like I always buy a book when I'm on a trip, and this one was even more fun because I was abroad, so I bought it while I was in Germany, and this one obviously takes place in Germany. It is told from the perspective of death, so I've always been so curious about this. I'm just so excited to get to this, and like I said, this is one I can take my time with and annotate, and since it's coming up on the year anniversary of me owning this, I think it's finally time that I get to it. So The Book Thief is being added to my TBR. I'm so excited. Alright, and last but not least, we are going to choose a prompt out of the TBR prompt jar. Hopefully I get something interesting. Based on the ones I have so far, I think maybe I might want another romance, just because I have a really dark historical fiction, I have a really dark classic, and I have a really dark fantasy, so maybe I'll want something a bit lighter. Let's give her a good shake. You. Hopefully this is a good one. Oh my gosh, I'm scared. I'm always so nervous. Okay, a book you plan to annotate. This is hilarious because I already have 2 books on this list that I plan to annotate. I was going to annotate When the Moon Hatched and The Book Thief. So I guess we're doing 3 annotated books in the month of May, which is alright with me. That's alright with me. Okay, but this is kind of like a free pick though. Like, it doesn't really have to be anything as long as I annotate it. That's okay. I mean, I have multiple options, but the one that like really jumps out at me is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I just recently got this past month in April. My boyfriend actually bought it for me, so thank you. But I've been meaning to continue the series for a really long time. I've been so curious to see how Iris and Roman's story wraps up and see more about the gods in this world and the war going on. And I did annotate the first book. I did annotate Divine Rivals, so I plan to carry that on into this one, and I feel like this is a bit different of a fantasy book than When the Moon Hatched. I just feel like if I'm reading like 2 similar fantasy books at the same time, sometimes they can blend together. That's why I didn't want to read Prior to the Orange Tree and When the Moon Hatched. They're both about dragons, they're both super high fantasy, and I just didn't really want to, I want to give them each the time they deserve, you know what I mean, the attention they deserve. And so this one is a little bit different, and I will annotate it for sure. So yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Okay, I feel like this is a very interesting lineup for the month of May. This is probably not the TBR I would have chosen for myself if I was just choosing based on my mood or what I was interested in. So the first book we have is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is my fantasy book club book pick for the month of May. And then the spinner reel did choose The Handmaid's Tale for us by Margaret Atwood. I don't really gravitate towards this book, but I have had it on my shelf for quite a long time, and I feel like it is a very interesting and important story to read about. And then my reader roulette cards chose the prompt to read a book set in a foreign country, and so for that I chose The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, which takes place in Germany. I'm so excited to read this book, and I hope it lives up to my expectations. And last but not least, my TBR prompt chart told me to read a book that I plan to annotate, which will be Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross, which is the 2nd book in the Letters of Enchantment duology. So I'm really crossing my fingers that May ends up being a really good reading month for me. I'm super excited to finally have free time to read again. I've seriously missed it so much. I didn't know what to do with myself when I wasn't reading, when I was just caught in the trenches of schoolwork. But that's finally over. It's in the past. I'm done. I'm done with school. Isn't that great? So wish me luck that I can finish these 4 books along with my 3 current reads for the month of May. I think I can. I have hope. But let me know what's on your TBR for May. If you're even setting a TBR, what book are you currently reading and how are you liking it? I would really love to know. So let's jump in to my reading journal setup for the month of May. I'm really excited. Let's get into it.